Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I am your Ice Dragon, RayronVR, and today we've got a few things to actually go over when it comes to train waybills. We really need to focus on Kirby Yard because one thing that I noticed in the last video, one of the box cars, in particular the Missouri Pacific, was supposed to be loaded with different goods. And when I noticed that it was still loading the furniture and cardboards from the very first episode, I realized I had an issue with the way I set everything up, and I think I've got it figured out, and I'm going to go over that today. So a few things to kind of note. I've got my nice controller here from Digitrax. I decided to put it here because I quickly started to realize that all of my moving actions, my drilling actions, started to be on this side of the layout. So I decided to put a little controller here so it's a little bit easier to deal with. Additionally, I'm going to go into a little bit of Digitrax here. So I have my particular modulars, and underneath these modulars, so this is the wave modular, I've got a DS74. Over here on the testing range, I actually have an SE74 because eventually I want to get back into how far can we take Digitrax series, and I'm going to eventually get signal set up on this particular module. Now it's a little bit far away from making that next video just because there's a lot of things I still need to make that actually work. But yeah, I got an SE74 I just connected to LocalNet. And then I got a Legacy DS64 underneath Phoenix Point. And so I've got that all connected to LocalNet, so that way I can control all of my switches from one point. So this is kind of acting like a operator, yard master, and dispatcher all at once. So, but it's kind of my central command and control. And so I've got all of my signal numbers here, so I just basically press S here, and I've got my switch number here that I just do a command. So for example, I've got switch 1, switch 2, and then I just throw it here, and it'll automatically switch. Okay, function, there we go. So, and that's the beauty about Digitrax, is that I can control switches from many different points, and I've got plenty of videos that kind of showcase that. So with that, another thing that I got here is my order of these spots. So with that, let's go ahead and talk about train waybills real quick. So let me get that quickly set up here. So I made a lot of changes to the spots. So what was happening was, because this entire side is considered my Kirby yard, and its entire spot is a classified yard, what was happening that I discovered was that the waybills will be inserted into the card on any car that's available. So that was issue number one, and so I decided to actually change my spot nomenclature. So we're gonna go to tracks, and so as you can see here, number one, I decided to rename it to arrival departure. Then I've got, and I made this whole entire modular on this rail the arrival departure, because I started to notice my trains got a little bit bigger and bigger as I added more cars. If you notice, I have a PFE here, so I have been adding a few more cars to the layout. And then I added downtown, mini prints, off spot, caboose, my rip track, my power track, and one thing that I'm going to start experimenting, I may do it with this, I may do it with the paid version, but I'm going to include a case to start cycling the cars into. Now, I've debated about doing this spot, and I'm still kind of undecided if I still want to keep the spot 8 as the floor case, because in all actuality, I think what I would like to do is create that case as an actual place on my layout. And so the way I was actually thinking about it, that I think would make sense for me, is that from Kirby Yard we have another offshoot to a particular location that is the case. At this point, I can't do that because I'm already maxed out on the free version, because I can only have 1 yard and 2 places under the free version. And so I'm going to have to upgrade to do that. But for now, I've kind of gone around to using it as a track on Kirby Yard. So again, that may not stay like that forever. So downtown, I decided to expand the feet that it can hold. So now it can hold up to 3 boxcars, because again, what I started to find out was I need a little bit more variety, and I need downtown to hold a little bit more to give me different varieties of the loads that the cars are carrying. Now, that's going to be a segue into waybills. So I discovered I made a mistake in episode 1 of this series. So I do apologize if I misled you guys. Again, I'm still learning the system as I go. And so when it comes to waybills, let's go ahead and take a look at the waybills. So I'm gonna go to boxcar, and I'll show you guys an example. So what I didn't realize I did was I thought the repeating function here, I thought that meant always keep this waybill active, always issue it out, is what I thought repeating would do. But under further investigation, and what's cool about this is that we've got this little how-to section here, and it explains each and every function within the program. And so what I had discovered was when we're doing waybills and creating new waybills, we're going to look at the repeating function, and it says here, this is the consistency repeat of a waybill forever on the assigned car. Once the waybill has completed all its instructions, it will automatically return to the first instruction and remain on the car. Please note, the car will never have the waybill removed unless you do this manually. We recommend you assign this waybill manually, see edit existing car, if you wish to operate on a specific repeating waybill on a specific car. Otherwise, it will be assigned to randomly a car in this type. So what I had discovered was that I had this repeating on, and so what was happening was the furniture and the cardboard loads were staying dedicated on all 4 cars. So I was having just those commodities rotate back and forth, and it was getting really boring really quick. And so the minute that I turn that off, then when I look at my reports and car reports, I quickly started to realize, okay, here, now we're starting to see the other waybills get loaded into different boxes at random, and that's what I want. So turning that repeating off meant that that waybill did not get slaved to the particular box and be permanently attached to that box. So I had all my waybills permanently attached to all 4 boxcars, and then I was just switching back and forth. And then when I put new waybills in, it was not getting fulfilled into these boxes. So leaving that off allowed other commodities to actually get assigned to this box and not actually attached. So my apologies if I misled a couple people with that. I finally got it figured out. And so now we've got different commodities here. You can see we've got pipes, vegetables, tools, livestock, and so forth. And so now we're actually getting the commodities as realistic as I really wanted to on this operating layout. So with that, let's go ahead and I think that's all the lessons learned when it comes to this system. So with that, let's go ahead and run some trains. So I'm going to go ahead to bring up train waybills again. One thing I cannot wait is that I really want a back button on the reports. Having to close it, open up a new window, it gets a little tedious. Okay, let me get train waybills back up. But again, this program is really in its infancy, but it's come a long ways from that. So a lot of props to Steve. Definitely great job with the development of this. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is we're going to take our diesel here. So we got number 1519. And I just want to kind of showcase what you can do with this particular job. So I'm pretending to put my yard master hat on. This is my yard diesel that's going to be doing some classification. And so because I changed the arrival departure, this allows me to actually classify where things are going to go, very organized and very good to go. Especially when it comes to, like, if I go out and get cars, bring it back, I can bring it back right in my arrival departure track, and then the switching unit can actually classify them. And so what I'm going to do here is we're going to pull consist. So now I got 4 cars all right here. We're going to look at your consist, and so I'm going to do a quick inventory check. So 63114, and that's going to go to mini prints. This is the PFE here. That's going to go to mini prints. let's see, 45698. We got the Texan Pacific 40817, and we got the MKD 5508. So now what I can do is, since now I have this consist and it's all right here in the arrival departure, and what I can do now is classify them. And so this is what we're going to do here. And again, I'm only going to pretend because I actually have an issue with this track right here. I've got to redo my rail, so I'm just going to pretend because I've got the mini prints here, and I'm actually going to do a 5-finger shuffle here. So I'm actually going to do this just for the sake of time. So come on, there we go. So what we're going to do is we need to now block our particular cars here. So I need to block mini prints, and I need to block the downtown one. So with some time, it would actually, you know, come out here, I would do the drilling and then get them appropriate block. And you know what? Let's go ahead and do it. Because if you guys are new to the channel and new to operations, I want to actually teach that too. So the concept of drilling is basically getting everything organized for the trains to take later down the road. So we're going to do what's called drilling. So if you see a yard that has a drill track, basically we are blocking things to get things organized for the places that they're going to go. So we're going to do this. Again, I'm pretending that mini prints is a little bit further down on the rail line, but for now, we'll just do what we need to do here. So now I have my 2 mini prints together. And really what I'm going to do is I'm going to put mini print. Actually, I need to organize it the way it is in the yard. So the way I have it in the yard is I have arrival departure, downtown, then mini prints. So I do need to put the downtown, the 2 downtown cars. Again, I'll look at my waybills here. I got my 2 downtown and my 2 mini prints. So I do need to grab these first. Let's see. Or actually, sorry, I need to grab this to block it correctly. Hopefully that's making sense. There we go. Okay. All right, so now we got those drilled and we have them blocked. So we got the downtown and the mini prints. So now what I would do is I'm going to go ahead and spot these. So we're going to pretend that spot 1 is our downtown. So we'll do that there. Yes, I know this is the arrival departure, but we're going to pretend just for the sake of everything here. And that is how we would do it. Or at least this is how I would do it on my railway. If it was much bigger, then yeah, I would have my downtown train, I would have my mini prints train, or I would have a special train that does all the spots. So, you know, it varies on the session and the layout owner. So yeah, we have those particular ones blocked. And again, if I would go to, what I could do too is classify them. So now we're going to part classify downtown, part classify downtown, mini prints, and mini prints. Boom. So now those are on the appropriate track. So now what we're going to do, we'll put our switcher aside here. So for the sake of this video and this session, I'm just going to call this a local train. It's going to go to all the spots. So we're going to go ahead and get our RS3 here. 1, 2, and 3. Loco. This is a Bowser with ESU decoder. I love this thing. Detailed really nicely. A little loud, so I'm not going to have sound until we actually travel. And so now what I'm going to do, make sure I don't short myself out here. Again, apologize for the shadows here. One of these days we'll have proper lighting. And this does have momentum. I need to get the ESU programmer so we can get rid of it, because I am not a fan of momentum. Okay, I also want to put the lights on. There we go. Okay, so now what we're going to do, So now I have all the car or the downtown cars. So now I can come back into here. Now again, depending on, and this is where variety can come into play, depending on how the yard master wants to do it. The yard master can keep the cars in their respective classification tracks, or they can take all of their consists. If they see that these particular cars have to go out and the local is going to be the first one on the manifest, again, the manifest will be dictated by the layout owner, because again, manifests haven't been implemented into this just yet, or excuse me, hasn't been implemented in any way. So what we're going to do is, in this case, so what I meant to actually say here was that the yard master can actually take all the cars and put it into the AD spot. So we know that the downtown is in spot 2, which is what we got. So now we're going to pick that up, and then we're also going to pick up the spot 3 mini prints as well. And again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask down in the comments below. I tend to talk really fast, so I do apologize if something doesn't make sense. And these cars are really giving me problems today. Come on. There we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and pick those up. So now I have 4 in my consist. So we've got the livestock, we've got, now I think there's a way, there should be a way to organize this, but I'm not exactly sure how. Yeah. Anyways, so let's go ahead and do this. Let's go to consist again. Okay, so yeah, this is going to mini prints. This is going to mini prints as well. This is going to downtown. This is going to downtown. So since this is the local, we're going to visit all the places. So now let's go ahead, and the first stop is going to be mini prints. Are you derailing on me too? Yep. And you've derailed too, huh? Interesting. Man, all the gremlins are out today. What in the world? There we go. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna stop. Again, that momentum's a killer. Alright, so now we're gonna drop off. Oh, 2 cars at mini prints. So now, as you can see here, I only have 2 drop-offs. I don't have any cars, don't have any green waybills here to pick up. So now we're just gonna set. Now I gotta remember, spot 2. This is spot 1, spot 2. Spot 1 has to be for the cattle. Spot 2 has to be supplies, which is what we got. So we're gonna set that out. We're gonna set that out. So now the system knows that that is set and good to go. So the next thing we got to do is we need to go to, since we are the local and we've been directed to go to all the spots, we need to look at downtown. So downtown has 2 for us to pick up and 2 for us to drop off, which makes sense. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and drive over to downtown. Now again, because I have everything coming from or connected to the local net, I can control the entire layout from here. So I kind of want to showcase that as well. Okay, so now we're going to go downtown, and I'm going to line up all the switches. Now, in my ultimate dream setup, I would have my computer with CTC lining all the switches, aligning all of the signals, so that way we get greens all the way through. So let's do 254, because that's what I have assigned here. Function, that's going to throw it to close. And now that will allow me to go through. Additionally, I need to get Phoenix Point, which is switch 200, to go to the downtown line. So we're going to do 200 here. 200 and throw that. So now we can go ahead and see that our local is over at Phoenix Point. And now it's switching on to that line. So again, that is the beauty of having everything connected to the local net. Okay, so I want to remember to throw this back. I'm also going to do switch 254. So now it's not back to throw. And now we get to come downtown and do our operating session. Let's get a little more speed on 999 here. So again, we're still traveling. We're not downtown yet. Hopefully we don't derail. Good. Okay, and I'm probably gonna hit this because I got momentum. Sorry everyone, as the commodities go flying in the boxcars. Alright. And stop. Okay, so now we're gonna drop off MKD 5508. So we're setting out the tools. Oh, so this is interesting because this is actually smart of the system. The system knows that there are 2 boxcars in that spot, so it's actually not allowing me to set out until I pick these 2. Hey guys, this is Future Dragon Rayron here. One thing I had noticed was that on this particular waybill, there's actually that white text that you can see at the very bottom. Now that was a special note that this car actually suffered from a hotbox issue, and so I needed to actually return that to the RIP track, not to the 80 track. So when I had dropped off that particular waybill, it had cycled on me and caused all sorts of confusion, and I had actually missed that when I picked up the card. So sorry for the confusion. You guys will kind of see that in a little bit later, but again, that car is supposed to go back to the RIP track, not to the 80 track. Up. So technically I've already picked these 2 up. We got the West Pacific and the Mopac. So we're going to pick these up, and then now you can see that automatically set out. So now we should have in our location in the ops. So we're going to go to location cars. So boom, we've got tools, and then we've got pipes that has been set out, and it's currently being unloading available in 3 turnarounds. Okay, so now what we can do is unlock that, and now what we can do is we can bring these 2 back home. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set our switches, so that way we can come back to the spot here to deal with that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do a 253, switch 253. We're going to hit the function that you can hear the switch track. I don't know if the GoPro is picking up the tortoise switch machine, but it has been switched. And now we're going to make our trip back to Kirby Yard. And there we go. And then I'll go ahead and put the function or the sound back on. And we'll go ahead and follow this one. So again, you can see the switch is good to go. And now, because I've got this digital hand throw, I just press it and it switches back. All right, we are well on our way. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to stop it here. Okay, so there's a plethora of things that we can do for this particular area. I'm gonna have this wind down so I don't talk over it too much. Come on, you can do it. Okay, so there's a couple things that we can do. My preferred method is to actually park the train on the arrival departure, so that way the switch master or the yard master can classify it as appropriate. And so what we're going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and disconnect, because just the way the train is oriented and the way we came into the yard master has basically directed to leave it there, so that way he can bring out the diesel and can easily skip the arrival departure step, because it's just going to be that much easy to do. So we're going to go ahead and take command of that diesel 1519, and let's go ahead and bring that out. And another thing that I'm actually going to do is I'll keep it. No, I want to simulate it, because since I'm still one user and it'll be this consist will go to a different user, what I'm going to do is kind of fool the system a little bit. So we're going to do Kirby Yard. We're going to park consist, and at this point I know spot 1's over here, but for the sake of having the other operator pick up these cars in the system, we're just going to go ahead and drop it off in 1. And in this case, this user, this operator for local 1 is done for the day. So now we can go ahead and, as the operator of this engine, we can go back in here and then pull consist. And so now this engine now has ownership of these two. So again, a little bit, I have to do a lot of pretending, so to speak, because the layout is so limited on the actual operations because of the way the track is, but I'm hoping that this will be somewhat of a good teaching tool for you guys, and I'm still having a lot of fun. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we've got 2 cars here, and it happens to be, so we're going to do your consist, and so let's see here. So we're going to, all right guys, future Dragon Rayron coming to you. And so I wanted to talk over this because I was struggling to figure out what was going on with that particular car. And that's when I kind of realized that, oh, this actually had the text, this had the bad order, and I was supposed to take it to the rip track. Now, when I had released it for the switch engine to get use of it, it had already cycled the waybill at that point, and so it left me super confused while I was just blank at that Kirby Yard. Well, it already flipped the instructions at that point. So that's where my mistake had happened. Now, what I'm going to do in the future is once I get another location unlocked with the paid version, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have a Kirby classification yard section, or title it as Kirby Classified, and then have a sub location of Kirby Industries. And what I'm going to do is actually have the rip track fall under the Kirby Industry as a location, so that way maybe the waybills can process a little bit better, be more clear to do on the operations side. So as you can see, I kind of struggle a little bit trying to figure out what's going on, and then by the end of it, I decided, okay, I realized I was in the consist window and finally went back to the operations window, and then decided, you know what, let's go ahead and put it into the downtown area. So sorry for the confusion. Again, I'm going to simulate the rip again when I see that, and we'll have the paid version so we can actually separate everything appropriately and go on from there. So with that, guys, I think we're at the end of the free trial period for this kind of series. I think the next video we're going to go ahead and actually get the paid version, and then we're going to add a lot more cars. We're going to try to mix things up a little bit and have some more industry to switch, because at this point, when it comes to the free version, you got 1 yard in 2 places. I think in my opinion, in my operations, we kind of reached the end point of what we can do, and that's not to the program's fault. That's more of just the way my layout is. And so I'm going to get the paid version, so that way we can do a lot more things and clear a few things up. But with it, guys, hopefully it wasn't too confusing. Again, sorry about that waybill. I tried to be a little cheeky with the hotbox waybill, and because I dropped it off here, it messed everything up. And so I got to look at the timing of that and everything. So it's a little bit more advanced than what I really want to go into. But with that, guys, if you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a comment down below, like and subscribe. A lot more operation videos to come when it comes to the waybills. So with that, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, guys, if you want to be a part of the Frostline radio show and want to tell everything that you enjoy about railroading, feel free to submit an application over on Discord and we can schedule out a time. All right, if you guys want to join the brand new Fellowship of the FPR, we've got a brand new Discord server that we're currently building up. Feel free to copy that link and you guys can head on over. If you want to be a guest on the Frostline Summit, a show and tell style digital railroading forum, feel free to look at the link for the Discord channel and submit your application. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you wish to support the Frostline and Pacific Railway, feel free to become a shareholder either at Patreon or Subscribestar. Those of you who do financially support the FPR will have your name on the designated shareholder express, as you guys can see here. Thank you for those who support the channel financially. You guys help progress the channel a lot. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video.